So, hi, Monique. Hi, girl.
Hi, Jess.
How's it going today?
Yes, it's going. We're here. We have
Yeah.
arrived.
Okay, sweet. So, welcome to your Meet the Institute. We really want to do these with our new and old staff to just introduce you guys to the community and let them know what you're all about, what area you work in within the Institute, and just some of the things that uniquely position you for this work. Our work is all about finding these sustainable solutions at the intersections of arts, humanities, and sciences. And so I'm wondering how you got started with us. And let's start there. We'll find other places to go. But how'd you get started with the Institute? Tell me about your origin story.
Okay, so I moved to Kalamazoo in June of 2025. And I didn't come here with the intentions of moving here. My dad lives here, so I was coming to visit my dad, spend the summer in Michigan, visit my family. That was the plan. And of course, I'm a musician, so I was like, let me see what open mic nights I can get myself into. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of drinking, so I didn't want to be in like a bar environment. So that kind of cut out majority of the open mic nights in Kalamazoo for
Yeah,
me.
for sure.
Um, and then I found the Institute open mic night, and I went, and I didn't perform the first time that I went, but it was such an amazing experience. It was a really warm and welcoming environment, and I think I'd maybe been in Kalamazoo for like 3 or 4 weeks at that point, and my dad had whispered in my ear, "Oh, if you want to stay, we'll make it work." Um, and so to go, have that conversation with my dad and then to go to the Institute and feel so warm and welcome, that was the first place that made me think, oh, maybe Kalamazoo could be for me. Because moving countries is a huge thing. And I knew I'd have my family unit to support me, but knowing that I'd have access to like a creative community that I could also find support in was something that I was looking for. So I found that immediately in the Institute. A couple of weeks later, they posted that they were looking for an events coordinator. That's what my last 2 or 3 jobs have been. So it kind of is just perfect.
So you apply for the job, you get an interview. Like, what is it like? Does the warmth transfer over from the curated event to now we're behind the curtain with the professional side? Like, what's the feeling when you're going in and meeting the folks to sort of vet you for the position?
Okay, so it's a great question. So my interview was with Dr. J. And I don't think it was supposed to be that way. I think there were supposed to be other people in the interview, but ended up being Dr. J and Mike, who I now work with. And it was great. It was actually a really good interview. Before the interview had even started, me and Dr. J were talking about recommendations for places in Kalamazoo, and she had recently been in England. So I was like, oh, like that was a nice little connection to be able to make before the interview even got started. Um, and then the questions that were asked, a lot about inclusivity and how I would be able to be inclusive in my role. And I've always worked in community-focused organizations. That's been intentional for me. That's not just I'm applying and getting these jobs. I want to work in organizations that are community focused. So when they're asking about inclusivity, like from the top down, that's a great sign. That's a great sign. They're not waiting for me to get to the end of the interview to be
Yeah.
like, no. So that was really, really good. There was definitely some connections there made. And me and Mike were cracking jokes in the interview because we're very, I feel like I don't always like type A, type B type people because we're people. But when it comes to my work and my structure in my work, I'm very type A. Very, very, yeah. I have a process for everything. I've
Yep.
got steps. Mike is like that. And so he was like, yeah, I can't wait to get these processes together. And I was like, oh.
Process
And
is
that's
the right
like,
word. It's like, oh, heard that.
And so me and Mike were like this, and we're forever like in our team meetings, like giving each other our flowers. Like, yes, this is a great team. We're doing amazing, and yeah, even outside of the interview, before I got the job, I went back to another open mic night. And I was like, oh, it's like, interesting being back here now. I've applied for the job, and I know Dr. J knows I've applied. Like, oh. I walk in the door, she's like, Monique, and then introduces me to everybody on the team. And I was like, oh. And the reception.
Hello, everyone.
Right. And then she's like, yeah, she's applied for the job, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, this feels good.
Another good sign.
Another great sign. And then I met Mary, I met Mia, I met Maya, and it was amazing. The energy that I got from everybody and the small little conversations that I had before I even got the job was a beautiful sneak peek into some of the amazing people that I'd get to work with at the Institute.
Beautiful. I love that. And I always ask about those differences and intersections because in the world that we live in, there's a tendency to present one thing and then be another behind closed doors, right? And I think part of the sustainability solutions that the Institute is committed to at the core, curating and furthering for this, 14 generations model that we'll talk about. But like being able to last and maintain a level of excellence, not just in show, but in reality. And so it's really, really good to hear that you found that congruence in the community aspect and programming, and then in the professional context, actually coming in for the interview. And so I wonder how your job has been since obviously you got the position and now you're a part of the team. Yay, welcome. How has it been for you developing systems? You mentioned being really like type A and clear cut in your professional setting for systems and processes. So I'm wondering, with the Institute, because we are a small but mighty team and we have so many moving parts, how has it been for you curating systems and processes within this creative, organization with so many different programs? It's particularly like with events. What has it been like for you to develop systems?
I feel like overall, amazing. There's been like small hiccups, but nothing that's like, the small hiccups are expected. But I think because I'm a creative, and I understand that I'm working with creatives, and while my work process is type A, my creative process is no. So Mike and I really try to tackle our processes in a way that would be easy for people, and that allowed for room to give people freedom to do what might work for them, but still allows us to be on the same page and keep the ball moving.
Absolutely. So in terms of programming, I know it's probably, mixed with having to actually help put on the events, but like, what are some of the your favorite things that you've been able to attend or be a part of, like within what we're doing at the Institute? Again, there's so many programs. Mm-hmm. Have you been able to enjoy any other programming just as a community member?
Yes, I think the one thing that really stands out to me, and I feel like I'm going to butcher the name of the technology, but when you brought Trinetti in, what's the name of her technology?
Primordial.pro.
Yes.
Shout out.
That was amazing.
Yeah. So
that was a
really sound healing stuff that really counts for you.
Mm-hmm. That was a really, really unique experience. And Trinetti was, a beautiful, beautiful soul. And she took the time to walk me through some of the technical things that were happening as well. Because I don't outsource my healing is one thing that I say. I won't see a Reiki master, or I don't do that. I don't know, maybe just like I had bad experiences in the past. So I was walking in very shaky, a little bit
little
nervous.
skeptical, like, let's see what we've, I don't know.
Very like that. And I walked out of there feeling light as a cloud. And it really was an incredible experience. 10 out of 10 recommend. I have recommended people check it out because outside of just listening to the healing frequencies, like being able to feel them through your body, really, really incredible experience.
Love that. So what about being within the Institute and having wellness at the center changes your relationship to your work? Because again, we are constantly saying one thing and sometimes following up and sometimes not, depending on, right? So again, with the Institute really focusing on this congruency, how have you experienced our ethos saying that, wellness is at the center? And I know you mentioned with our sound healing stuff, but how have you experienced wellness at the Institute?
Well, I'll first say that this has been a reminder. I feel like I've been having a bit of a turbulent past couple of days, and even just this conversation has been a reminder to me that we do have access to the space downstairs. But I think that one thing I definitely took advantage of was the wellness grant. I think I've only been working here maybe now for about 5 or 6 months. So when I even found out that I was eligible for the wellness grant, I wasn't expecting to be. I was happy about that. But I used that money to go see a chiropractor, which has been something that's been on my list for years now. As I'm getting older, that back pain has been increasing.
Oh, yes.
Slightly.
Oh, yes.
So to get to go see a chiropractor for the first time, I mean, I was skeptical again about going in, but it was a good experience, and I never would have had that opportunity without the wellness grant. And since doing that, I've reaped the benefits of that chiropractor session. It was 2 sessions, and now I'm like, oh, that's something I need to continue. That's beneficial for my health.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think with rest being our theme, rest and emancipation being our theme for the year, it makes a lot of sense that as a staff and as a team, we're all sort of interrogating our relationship with rest. We do such powerful work, and most, if not all of us, do more than just our work at the Institute. And so the Institute models this, centrality of wellness and authentic, congruent work. But when we're in these other spaces, and when we're juggling all of the things, including family and trying to, take care of our bodies and the increasingly worse environmental state of things, right? Like, there's so much going on, and our ability to pull the plug or to stop or to go and get a modality or to sleep instead of pull another all-nighter, I think we're all in that space of, where am I really at with it? I can promote it at work, or I can say this again, congruency. Can I continue the patterns and the habits I have with rest today? And so I appreciate you, just the gift of your vulnerability to bring that to light, that reminder of like, okay, where am I at? And always checking in with ourselves, because it changes. Our bodies change, our relationships change, the weather changes. Like, we have this ongoing relationship with how we're managing the many stressors and difficulties in this life. And so I'm excited that our work and what we do at the Institute can be a resource, even just to remind so we can, keep going forward with that. Another thing you mentioned was the inclusivity being mentioned up front. And so I want to hear your thoughts on some more of our principles of the creative justice model and the 14 generations model that we discussed, where we want people to be able to learn and access getting to know their authentic selves. Again, we've been presented with many ideas of how we should be or how we have to be, or like code switching and all this stuff of like, this is how you need to dress if you want to get a job, and this is how you need to talk when you're in this environment, right? But like learning and accessing that true authenticity, finding the skills to express it from the community, and being given opportunities to express that, and having that support from your community that can come behind that and sort of be the wind beneath your wings. And then once you're finding and expressing and being sustained in that, to facilitate it for other people. How do you see the creative justice model within the Institute? Again, you brought up the inclusivity question being brought up early in your process, but like through programming, through conversations, like how do you see that creative justice model of authenticity and inclusivity function within our programming?
I think the first place that I see it time and time again is the open mic nights. And I saw it before I was even staff. It's a very vulnerable position to be performing live, whether you're a seasoned professional or whether it's your first time. And the amount of people that I've seen it be their first time performing live at our open mic nights and leave with this smile ear to ear across their face is amazing, because we garnish such a welcoming crowd that it's just so much love in the room, and it's just an amazing place for people to be able to express themselves. And when you talk about I like that you said people getting to find out that authenticity for themselves and how they want to present. Because as a creative person, that's a journey that I am forever on. And, there's lots of layers and intersections to my life that, add to the twists and turns of how I'm going to find out where that authentic Monique sits. But being able to put on an event where people can come and I get to witness people do that is so inspiring for me to then go home and continue doing the hard work, that shadow work, that mirror work, that internal work of finding out where my authentic self is and how do I want to present to the world. So I love the open mic night. It's a really great space for that.
For sure. And then for the 14 generations model, where we are going 7 generations backwards, honoring our history and legacy, the ancestral responsibility that we hold, and then 7 generations forward. So again, sustainability, foresight, long-term community well-being. How do you see that mindset and that model of thinking about 7 behind and 7 ahead function in our programming, whether that's through events or just programs that we have? How are you seeing us honor the legacy and the ancestral responsibility, and then forward with the next generation and sustainability for what's possible, particularly for Black and Brown people? Again, the Institute of Public Scholarship absolutely insinuates a level of critical thought and exploration of the arts, the sciences, and the humanities, and not just doing things that would be nice and cute events, but again, the responsibility of depth and scholarly analysis at these intersections.
Starting going 7 generations back, I say that the On the Block series of
Remembering the Block, shout out
Remembering the Block.
Yep.
Yeah, Remembering the Block. Those events are amazing. I think that it's I think in one staff meeting we had, Dr. J was talking about why we're doing these events. And it's like, we're not becoming gentrifiers, okay? And I was like, yeah, yeah, very that. And I was just like, yeah, it's very simply put, we've been given this opportunity. We have this amazing space. Let's honor the people who came before us. And I love history, and Kalamazoo history is new to me. I'm still learning a lot about Kalamazoo's rich history, and so to be able to learn about the space in which I inhabit as being a part of the Institute and what came before is really awesome. And I think the last remembering the block was Nimble Thimble. And yeah, I tapped into that one online, and that was just really amazing to hear that woman's stories about that road that we're on all day, every day. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about 7 generations forward? How are you seeing that in our programming of where honestly, with remembering the block, I think you're right that it's going backwards so that we can think about and situate ourselves in the continuing legacy of this space. But are there any other programs or events you want to shout out for how we are looking ahead and forward?
Looking ahead and forward, Artifact, the genealogy class, definitely is looking back and looking forward. I think there's something so powerful about helping people find out their roots, where they're from, and the impact that can have on them moving forward is incredible. And then all of the knowledge that they learn about themselves will be linked back to the Institute. So definitely back and forward, 7 generations, back and forward again.
Yeah, I didn't consider that in this question and in this model. Most of our programming is doing both. That it's not usually one or the other. That, like you mentioned with Artifact, Black and Brown genealogy is particularly difficult because of the difficulties that are in what has happened, right? The history that we have to sort of confront when looking for things that exist in the public record for most non-Black and Brown folk, right? And so census records that only go back so far, or plantation records that you might have to go to state's archives to even find, and the different rabbit holes that you go down are for historical documentation to corroborate this or that. But knowing who and where you come from is a mirror to who am I and who will I be in light of who I'm coming from. And so I think you're absolutely right in that where we are going has to be informed by where we have come from.
And I hate to get political, but our current...
It's in the humanities, ain't it?
Right, it's true. Because the way that our current administration is trying to erase history, like actively erase history, makes programs like Artifact so much more important. Because these things are being taken out of curriculums, they're being taken out of museums, they're being taken out of national parks, indigenous history, the history about the transatlantic slave trade. So to be able to arm, even if just one single person, with the history of who they are, is going to give them some insight to American history as well. Absolutely. Which I feel is just making some great soldiers moving forward to battle all of these crazy things happening in the world.
And there we are back at the sustainable solution, right? Mm-hmm. That it's not just, I went to a cool event, but because of what I learned in this space at the Institute, I am armed and dangerous as a person who knows my history, knows my rights, and is well situated in my authenticity, that I'm not scared to go and be me wherever I find myself. And so I think that's really powerful. I'm glad you went there. You definitely, you're right.
And I also want to shout out the Young Scholars program as well. love the little young scholars. They're adorable, but like the way that the Institute team interacts with them, I'm just always like really like wholesome, beautiful moments, really teaching these kids some amazing life skills. And so I love the young scholars. I love that they're called young scholars. It's preparing them for that mindset, oh, of like, no, I'm going to be an educated person one day. Like, I love that. From young, they're already calling themselves the young scholars. And so yeah, I think that's another thing that's arming people for that seven generations coming.
Absolutely. And it goes to the authenticity within that. So the creative justice model and the 14 generations model are alive and well in our programming, because a lot of the young scholars, their parents were youth at Fire with Michelle and Denise back in the day, right? And so we're already responding to a multi-generational health and just vitality of our community in Kalamazoo, and particularly Black and brown folk, that when they were young people, having opportunities to find and curate this authentic self, and Fire being such a powerful place for them to express that and have community support with that fast forward this many years, their children are young scholars in the Institute, being poured into with a level of intentionality that teaches them skills, and that not just teaches them of like, oh, you're a kid, you don't know anything, but it platforms them, like you said, by even calling them young scholars. It validates the cultural and personal capital they already have just by being who they are, and it I think it actively reinforces that authenticity and that possibility, even as they're young, because we know what school is like. we know how you need to just sit down and be still and listen. It doesn't provoke critical thought. It's about learning obedience so that you can be a good worker someday.
And then on top of that, a lot of Black and brown people are not represented in the textbooks that these children are learning from.
Right.
And to not see yourself represented in the history that you're learning about, yeah, of course, that 13-year-old boy is not interested in history, like, and then they want to get mad at him because he's not performing. And so it's an amazing platform, the Young Scholars.
All right. Anything that you're excited about for the year? I know what is it, March? So, we're on the tail end of Q1, which is crazy. I feel like Christmas was yesterday. But yeah, what are you excited about for the upcoming year, event-wise, or just whatever in the Institute?
I'm excited for Blamping. Now, we just released the dates for that. I think that's going to be... I'm super excited for that. I missed last year. But everyone had a great time. So I'm like, I want to have a great time. I'm going to be working, but I also plan on having a great time. So anything Collecting and Recover, anything Sounds of Our Stories, I'll be there in work mindset if I have to be, and also there to enjoy. I think, those two programs are really amazing. So those are the two that I'm really excited to see what's going to be popping this year. But in terms of like events, me and Mike are also trying to put our minds together to see what type of events we can put on, if not just for the staff and for the wider community. So this meeting's been a great reminder at some of the ethos at the core of the Institute. And I'll definitely be talking to Mike about, let's look at those ideas that we have and let's make sure that we're factoring these things into the things that we want to plan.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to say to the people that may be watching or listening?
I feel like they'll get the message. But I feel like when you see the flyers, it just shows. It just shows. I don't even need to say anything. The same way that I like became a part of it and I saw the flyer and now I'm here. Yeah. So I just encourage
Look
people
at them
to
flyers. The flyers pay it
yeah,
all.
look at the flyers, get out there, and yeah, check us out because there's some really, really cool things going on at the Institute.
Sweet. Well, thank you for your time.